Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of West Island News. My name is Hannah Johnston, and I have the pleasure of being joined by two very special guests today. I am joined by Kevin James Reason, who is the founder of the Liam Foundation, and Mr. Chris Nilan, a former Canadiens NHLer. Thank you both so much for joining me here today. We're here to have a very important discussion about mitochondrial disease awareness and about the Liam Foundation. So would you like to start us off sort of summarizing how and why the Liam Foundation was created?
Yeah, so back in, I guess it was in May of 2019, Liam, who was already diagnosed with autism, I was home with him one night, and he just kind of had a jerk, and he fell down, and he always had trouble walking. So when we thought that was part of the autism and just dealing with that, but at night it looked like he was having something more like seizures. So we rushed him to the hospital. And he stayed in the hospital for about a month. And he probably had, I would say about in a day, 24 hours, he'd probably have seizures for about 20 hours per day for that whole month until they got it under control. And then they were really baffled, had no clue. The doctors had no clue what it was. So one of our last options was genetic testing. So we all got blood tests, sent it off to the US, and then about 3 weeks later, we got the results back in the hospital because Liam was back in the hospital of June of 2019. So the seizures had started again, and that's when they told us he has mitochondrial disease, more specifically Pol-G disease. So from there, I mean, it crushed our family for sure. It felt like a nightmare come true. So about a month later after that, I decided I had to do something. After speaking to many doctors around the world, I came to quickly realize that there was research needed. Not too many people knew about mitochondrial disease, and even the doctors, we had some specialists, but the regular doctor in the hospital had no clue what mitochondrial disease was. So pretty quickly I said I have to spread awareness, and that's when I created the Liam Foundation.
Right. And you had mentioned how he had been in hospital for almost over a month at one point with various tests, and a lot of them were sort of misleading or not properly diagnosing him with mitochondrial disease.
Correct.
And according to the Mito Canada Foundation, only actually 10% of patients receive an accurate diagnosis of mitochondrial disease due to the fact that it's so complex as a disease. And do you believe that increased research and medical trial funding will sort of help increase the statistic and help the mitochondrial disease visibility in the health field?
Definitely. I think the biggest thing is awareness, and even with some doctors, and it's North America, it's not just here in Quebec or Canada. They have to see the signs right away. I'm not asking them to be specialists on mitochondrial disease, but kind of see the signs of this could be something different than they're used to. And once we spread awareness, and I mean, one of my goals is to have right here at the Montreal Children's Hospital a research center just on mitochondrial disease. But yeah, we have to spread awareness. It's the biggest. It's one of the biggest goals, and the ultimate goal is to find a cure.
Right. And you've already accomplished so much with the Liam Foundation. Already, the foundation is funding a medical trial at the Children's, along with 10 other children from around the world. And new medication has been brought from Europe, and Liam is actually the first to use it in North America, correct?
Correct, yeah. So having discussions with the doctors, and I was kind of pushy, to be honest. I said, there's got to be something out there. And one of Liam's doctors said, I've heard of this medication out in Europe. It hasn't really been used, but they have seen some results, some good results. So without getting the cost or whatever it was, I just said, let's bring it in. And in the beginning, it was to save Liam, to save my son. But it quickly became, let's save all the kids. Let's do something for everyone. And probably about 10 months later, we got approval from Health Canada. It's been shipped in from Europe. Liam started it in November of 2021. And the good news is we got 10 other kids, several or a few from the US. We have Australia, a couple from Brazil. And just last week, we got the approval from Health Canada to extend it for another 6 months.
Right.
So the Liam Foundation will be funding that as well.
So it's definitely groundbreaking research and trials. It's an incredible feat, especially for the mitochondrial disease community.
Definitely. And I mean, I keep in touch with most of the parents that have their child on this new medication. And I haven't heard a negative comment. It's all positive results. Some kids that stopped talking are starting to talk again. Some kids that were having trouble walking are starting to walk again. So, and even within Liam, I see that he's more alert. He does try to communicate more. So it's all positive results. And to have Health Canada extend it as quickly as they did is because it's positive.
Right. And now I know Liam attends speech therapy, and he also has to go to the hospital for the trial. What does sort of a daily life schedule look like coexisting with mitochondrial disease?
Yeah, so we first thing, wake up in the morning. He has to take 5 seizure medications, and then he takes vitamins, which we call a mito cocktail. That's to help with the mitochondrial disease. So he takes that 3 times a day. In between medications, we bring him to therapy. He does therapy for about 3 hours, 4 times a week, and then it's quite the routine. There's really no change. It's medication, lunch, therapy, back, medication, supper, medication, and then bed.
Right.
In between that, he's always on his laptop. In the winter, he loves watching hockey, and in the summer, he likes going in the pool. So it's just quite the routine, to be honest with you.
Right. And he's a huge hockey lover.
Huge hockey lover. He likes the fights. He likes to be honest with you. He likes the fights. He doesn't. When he sees a fight, he'll be more into the hockey for sure.
And is that how, Mr. Nilan, you came in contact with Liam and Kevin? Is that how did you sort of?
Well, I came into contact with Kev at a fundraising dinner and a dinner at the Bell Center for people who follow the Habs. We had a box. I had season tickets. And I met Kevin there, and we were talking, and he communicated to me about his son and what was going on with him. So maybe a year and a half later, I would see him on Facebook and see how much work he was doing. He got a full-time job. He got other children, working his butt off, and he's doing everything he can to try and help his son live a better life. And I ended up having him on my radio show when I was doing it. Back at TSN, and we had talked a little bit, and then I wanted to take it a step further and try and see how else I could get involved. And I know the money issue to bring funds in to support the foundation and this medication is so important. So I said, what more can I do? You know, we look at mitochondrial disease. It's a rare disease in these children. You know, and you look at cancer, how cancer is. It's so prevalent in our society. If the shoe was on the other foot, we'd be way far ahead as far as mitochondrial disease, because Big Pharma would be so much more involved looking to get a drug that they could sell to help all these children. But where it's such a rare disease, it's difficult, right? Big Pharma wants to make money. So the cost of this is immense, and it's so far proven that have helped some of these kids, and they've made advancements, like Kevin said, in their speech, their movement, some. So there's a lot of positives in it. So what more could I do to help Kevin? And you know, he decided to put on a golf tournament. I told him I'd love to be co-chair, try and bring some of my former teammates. And we had a few that did show up and helped out. Rick Green, Oleg Petrov, Stefan Richer. For the first year, it was good. I got a few guys to come out. I want to get more next year. I want to help to raise that money to support this, because, again, I look at Kevin, how hard and tirelessly he works trying to help his son to live. And, you know, I look at my life and I have a lot to be grateful for. And I have some healthy children, healthy grandchildren. I can only imagine. And I've seen it in my years playing hockey here, because I visited kids in the hospital from first year I was here until I left here. And to see what parents go through and how difficult it is on them and the children, it's a lot. And for people to jump on board and try and help is a big thing. And, you know, it's dollars. And I know today's world, everybody's looking for something, right? There's all sorts of charities out there. You know, everybody's asking for the dollar, the almighty dollar. You look at the way the world is today with inflation and, you know, gas prices, everything, you know, to ask people to help out. Some people, it's too much for them. So we're always, and I know Kevin's always looking for ways to try and generate more money for the foundation. And I want to be there to help them. It's not an easy thing to do on your own, no question.
Right. And speaking of fundraisers, are there any upcoming fundraisers or any ways that people can donate online?
So we're working on it. We're just trying to secure the venue here, but in September, probably September 24th, I'll confirm it, but we're looking for, it's called Last for Liam Comedy Night. So we'll have a whole bunch of comedians come in from Toronto and Montreal, local. And then we're looking at a venue of about 250 people. And hopefully my friend Ted Bird is going to host it. I've been talking to him a little bit, and if he's free and doesn't have anything, he'll come down and host it. And of course we'll have Chris there. So that's the next big event. And in between, there's all kinds of things that we sell to generate funds for the Liam Foundation. We have shirts, we have soap, we have Knuckles Nilan brand autographed caps. I know Chris just came out with a new hoodie, and he incorporated the two logos, the Liam Foundation logo with the Knuckles Nilan logo. Those are out for sale. So I'm very active on my Facebook, my own personal Facebook, Kevin James Reason. We also have the Liam Foundation Facebook page, Instagram. And right now all the funds go to, I send them to the Montreal Children's to fund this trial. And there's a donate button there. If you can donate, it would be great, because the Liam Foundation has funded this. It's going to be a year trial, and it's about $120,000 for 10 kids. So if the next, I'm always looking at the next step, the next phase, and the next phase is to get this going even more. So
right, there he is. Hey, bud. We're joined by Liam Reason, who really is the reason why we're all here today. So I really appreciate your time and your support, and all of the information for donations will be linked in the article. I hope that West Islanders can find it in their hearts to donate and really raise awareness for mitochondrial disease and really help Liam out. So thank you so much for your time, all of you. For the West Island News, this has been Hannah Johnston. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good timing.